Welcome to the Microlearning session, Nurse Advocacy at the Vermont State House. Hello colleagues, nurses, ANA Vermont members, supporters, and guests. My name is Kate Williams, and I'm a graduate student at Chamberlain University's College of Nursing. My practicum site and project are with ANA Vermont under the mentorship of Dr. Amy Martone, the ANA Vermont Interim Executive Director, and Dr. Betsy Hassan, ANA Vermont President-elect. The goal of this project is to increase ANA Vermont members and Vermont nurses' knowledge about the legislative process and nurse advocacy in Vermont at an introductory level. Here is a photo of my first introduction to the Vermont State House, perhaps even advocacy, and the legislative process at the age of 3 or 4 in the late 60s. Pictured here, left to right, is me, my father, and my brother. My first tour was around age 3 or 4. Microlearning objectives, advocacy, and a call to action. The microlearning sessions are designed to introduce nurses to legislative advocacy work, increase participation, and energize, inspire, and perhaps reinvigorate noble nurse advocates to continue their work. It is important to cheer on, recognize, validate, and share each other's passion, and maintain healthcare policy with nurse advocacy work. Nurse advocacy work elevates our profession and improves health outcomes. A call to action. The state of Vermont has 10 to 15,000 nurses, depending on what resource you use, 400 of whom are ANA Vermont members. There are over 4.3 million nurses in the United States. Nurses are the most trusted profession and are called upon to give testimony in matters related to healthcare, health policy, and nursing practice. Imagine actualizing the power of nurses if 4 million U.S. nurses, or 10 to 15,000 Vermont nurses, identified healthcare issues on the website, communicated with their representatives weekly or monthly, or joined a healthcare board, coalition, or advisory council. Imagine if another 400 nurses joined ANA Vermont to amplify the voices of Vermont nurses to shape our profession and improve outcomes for patients. ANA Vermont's strategic plan is in alignment with ANA Enterprise, with a specific focus on the will of the ANA Vermont members and the needs of the nurses and people of Vermont. Advocacy work by and for nurses is effective, important, relevant, and makes a difference with healthcare outcomes. Golick, Bell, and Bumpus implore nurses ethically and as a responsibility as nurse professionals to learn about healthcare advocacy, participate in legislative work, and professional associations. The following microlearning session aims to address this call to action for nurse advocacy and legislative work. The evidence shows that microlearning method and experiential learning methods are effective as a specific educational modality for legislative education, as well as an advocacy or Hill Day. My why. I am passionate about healthcare policy and nurse advocacy because of my 35 years as a nurse practicing in Vermont, Maine, and New Hampshire, 25 of which has been in the role of a RN case manager. I have assisted patients, families, and members of the healthcare team navigate the United States healthcare system at the front line. I have experience in the emergency room, in acute care, and in the community care setting. The barriers and challenges from prior authorizations, denials, health disparities, inequities, staffing crises, safety and quality concerns, and outdated, onerous healthcare policies led me to pursue my MSN in healthcare policy at Chamberlain University College of Nursing. My family members and dear friends have also had healthcare experiences that personalize the calling to make a difference at this level. Part of the reason for choosing healthcare policy advocacy is due to a long line of legislative service in my family. My grandfather, Senator John Hudson Howland, served Windsor County from 1975 to 1985, and his wife, my grandmother, Mary Kiernan Howland, served in the governor's conferences and various committees. My father, Honorable Francis Topper McFawn, currently serves as the Barrytown representative and as vice chair of the Healthcare Committee. His wife, my mother, Mary Howland McFawn, serves on the Governor's Advisory Board for Animal Welfare. My sister Molly McFawn served as a page to the executive branch at the Vermont State House and worked for Senator James Jeffords of Vermont in Congress. My daughter Megan Williams served as a page, as well as my niece Riley McFawn. The time seemed right for me to pursue further education and elevate my advocacy work during the COVID-19 pandemic. Nurses like myself have years of healthcare experience and need to not only be at the table, but leading and shaping healthcare policy with our advocacy work. What is your why? Key spaces, places, rules, and races. Nurse advocacy work in Vermont is enhanced by knowing a few things about the State House in Montpelier. It is helpful to know where lawmakers work, some of the rules of the State House, and the protocols while the House and Senate are in session. Knowledge about the history of our beautiful State House and how policy is made during the legislative year enhances the experience of advocacy work, energizes elections and political races. Please take a tour of the State House using a phone to guide you or make an appointment with the Sergeant-at-Arms for more details. Below are key spaces and places to know for advocacy work. The State House is the third one built in Montpelier in 1859. Most of what you view in the building are the original pieces. The dome of the State House is copper and a thin coat of gold leaf paint is on it. Demeter, the Greek goddess of agriculture, stands on the very top. My grandmother, Mary Kiernan Howland, taught me as a young child visiting my grandfather at the State House that the Roman goddess of agriculture, Ceres, was who stood on top. She helped me remember the name Ceres by associating it with cereal, which is produced by the agricultural industry. I'm not sure why she chose Ceres instead of Demeter, but she was a Democrat and my grandfather was Republican, so maybe that is why. The State House lobby. The unique marble floor of the lobby is home to many fossils found in the marble from Danby and Isle La Motte. The bust of Abraham Lincoln and the portraits of Vermont Presidents Calvin Coolidge and Chester Arthur are found here. Abenaki recognition and women in the State House portraits are also found here. The Lieutenant Governor's office, hearing rooms, Senate committee rooms, the Sergeant-at-Arms office, and the page desk are located on this level. If you want to send a message to your representative or senator, you can do so via page with a handwritten note. The Senate Chamber, Representatives Hall, the Governor's Office, and the Cedar Creek Reception Room are on the second floor. The cafeteria, conference room space, and the card room, a unique place to meet legislators, are on this level too. Take a tour for more history and background. Here's a picture of the Cedar Creek room. Summary and next steps. It is an ethical and professional responsibility for nurses to learn about healthcare policy and advocacy. It is important for nurses to promote and protect the most trusted healthcare profession and to improve outcomes for patients. There are over 4 million nurses in the United States, 15,000 of whom are in Vermont. Increasing the number of nurses leading and shaping healthcare policy will elevate nurse voices and impact healthcare in Vermont. Touring the Vermont State House and reflecting on your why to be involved with advocacy can enrich your experience learning about nurse advocacy in the Vermont State House. Thank you.